I reckon there are 3 reasons I was so good. Timing. I knew exactly when to hit the buttons. Not too early, not too late. Nerve. Most people have bottled it long before I did. Making a move too soon was fatal. And practice. God knows how many hours I spent playing that game. But if I was to work out exactly how many hours, I reckon it'd run into days, weeks even. Working that security job meant I had time to kill. It was only meant to be a temporary gig, earn a bit of money after uni before I applied for something better, but it's easy to get stuck. Before I knew it, I'd been in the job 6 months. Well, being new on the team meant they used to send you to the stations furthest away from the kettle and the Calagas stove. For 2-hour stints, I'd park myself on the edge of the building site, wrap up in my puffer jacket with no one to talk to. There's no wonder I used to get my phone out and play Snake till the battery gave out. The Nokia 3310s were everywhere back then. You had one, I had one, Mark had one, your sister had one before she dropped it, down the toilet on a night out, and then replaced it the next day with the exact same model. I reckon if we did a survey of everyone we knew back then, pretty much everyone, except Jenny, whose boyfriend bought her an Ericsson, well, pretty much everyone would have owned one. Now, we bought those phones together, do you remember? Oh, you were dead against getting a phone, but the salesman on the day was good, very good. And by the time we left the shop, he talked you into having one too. A blue one. You used to stare at it in marvel, wondering how you'd ever manage without it. And it became essential. So when you moved to that Manchester office, it's how we kept in touch. Oh, you'd text me like 8, 9 times a day. And then when you got back to the flat, you'd pop it on charge and call me for a chat. It was tough, I know it was. Moving to a new city by yourself, new job, no friends, but it's like I told you all those times, you'd grow to like it, and it wasn't forever. Knowing you were coming home, I'd be excited all day. I'd go straight to Hereford train station after work on a Friday to wait for you. I'd buy a bar of chocolate en route, and if it wasn't a paper to read, I'd get my phone out and play Snake. By the time would fly by, to be fair. Manchester's not that far away, really, and the train was direct. I'd look up from my screen, and 20 minutes might have passed. 3 rounds of Snake later, and an hour had gone. You weren't late that often. There was that one time when you missed your train by 5 minutes because of traffic, and that time when you had to get a bus because the line was blocked at Church Stretton. But I'd still wait, and you'd appear. I'd try and spot you through the glass before you saw me. And then when you caught my eye, I'd smile. I'd cling to you as though you'd been away for months, not 5 nights. I'd have happily spent the next 48 hours alone with you in the flat if you'd let me, but you wouldn't. I'd follow you around all weekend like a puppy while you visited your mum and went for drinks with friends. I didn't mind sharing you. I just knew how lucky I was to have you back. Well, even if it was just until 4 o'clock on a Sunday. I should have guessed there was a problem when I suggested moving to Manchester as well. I'd stand a better chance of getting the kind of job I wanted in Manchester, and well, even if I didn't find one straight away, they had security guards there too. You hesitated before you answered. I shouldn't do anything rash. Your boss was talking about a secondment to Portsmouth, and maybe now wasn't the time to make the jump. But one day, maybe. And then there was the news that you wouldn't be coming home for the bank holiday weekend. Your workmate Sally had invited you to a 30th birthday party in some bar called Evolution, and you bought a dress you probably thought was too short. Well, I shouldn't have shouted at you like that, but I was disappointed. And I said I was sorry. I called you the next day to ask if you'd enjoyed yourself, but you didn't reply until after lunch, and I just sat in the flat, worrying, just toying with the Nokia, waiting for you to text back at any minute. I opened Snake up and played for a while. I was close to my highest ever score of 150,258 when you finally text back. Great night. Sore head today, though. Speak soon. soon. Not later or in a bit. Speak soon. No kiss. You started to get in touch less frequently. I texted you 5 times to find out what train you were coming back on the following Friday, but by the time you replied, I was already at the station. New message. Not feeling very well. Sickness at work. Sorry. That night, lying in bed, I decided I was a bad boyfriend. I should have jumped on a train the moment I got your message. I should have got the next train to Manchester, jumped in a taxi straight to your place. That's what I should have done. So that's what I did. The train was busy, but I got a seat next to the window and I played Snake most of the way. Left, down, climbed to the top of the screen, breathe. There was no answer when I rang your doorbell. I looked up at the window, there's no sign of life. So I thought the worst. So I sent you a little text. You okay? There was no answer for what seemed like an age before a reply finally came back. A little. Thanks. I was about to text you back when I heard a familiar noise. A laugh. Your laugh. I looked up the street and saw you walking down the road with a man. You laughed again at something he said. I couldn't process what was going on, and then I noticed you were holding his hand. I went back to Piccadilly. Left, right, dropped down fast. I don't remember getting back on the train. Go as close as you dare. Turn right, and I didn't want you to know that I was there. Left, left, up. I didn't want you to know that I'd seen you. Right, down, right again. I didn't want to believe it. Hold your nerve. Right, right. Game over.